A red and white triangular sign at an intersection means A. Stop at the limit line. B. Continue driving. C. Slow down and be prepared to stop and yield to other traffic, bicycles, and pedestrians if necessary. D. Slow down, but do not stop under any circumstances. A red and white triangular sign at an intersection means C. Slow down and be prepared to stop and yield to other traffic, bicycles, and pedestrians if necessary. A red and white triangular sign is a yield sign. This sign means that you should slow down as you approach the intersection and be prepared to stop and yield the right of way to other traffic in the intersection, bicycles, and pedestrians crossing the street. If the intersection is clear, you do not need to come to a complete stop. When approaching a railroad crossing without mechanical gates or lights, you should A. Cross the tracks as quickly as possible. B. Slow down to 15 miles per hour and be prepared to stop if necessary. C. Stop on the tracks and look both ways. D. Approach the railroad tracks at 25 miles per hour. When approaching a railroad crossing without mechanical gates or lights, you should B. Slow down to 15 miles per hour and be prepared to stop if necessary. A railroad crossing without signal lights or gates is considered an uncontrolled railroad crossing. The speed limit near an uncontrolled railroad crossing is typically 15 miles per hour. Use caution anytime you are driving near a railroad crossing without any warning lights or gates, and expect a train to approach from either direction at any time. What is the purpose of rumble strips? A. To stop runaway vehicles. B. To help alert drivers that they are drifting out of the lane. C. To help guide drivers with poor vision. D. To alert drivers to road work. What is the purpose of rumble strips? B. To help alert drivers that they are drifting out of the lane. Rumble strips are textured areas of the road that are commonly found on the edges of highways, multi-lane roads, and busy intersections. They are designed to vibrate the vehicle when driven over. Their purpose is to alert drowsy or distracted drivers that they are drifting out of the lane of traffic onto the shoulder or off the road. What is a no zone? A. The blind spots for large vehicles. B. An area marked with a red X. C. The shared center turn lane. D. The blind spots around standard passenger vehicles. What is a no zone? A. The blind spots for large vehicles. The no zone describes the blind spots around trucks and other larger vehicles. These blind spots cover a larger area than the blind spots of standard passenger cars. Large vehicles have blind spots or no zones to the front, behind, and on each side of the vehicle. If you are driving near a large truck, it is important that you do not linger in the driver's no zone for longer than you need to. If you do not have what, always drive with your low beam headlights on. A. Daytime running lights. B. High beam headlights. C. Hazard lights. D. Fog lights. If you do not have A. Daytime running lights, always drive with your low beam headlights on. Most modern cars are equipped with daytime running lights. These types of headlights go on automatically when the car is started. If you have an older vehicle or a car that's not equipped with daytime running lights, it's a smart idea to turn on your low beam headlights when you drive. The reason for using your headlights during the day is to increase your visibility. The headlights must be turned on. A. 30 minutes after sunset until 30 minutes before sunrise. B. 30 minutes before sunset until 30 minutes after sunrise. C. 30 minutes after sunset until 30 minutes after sunrise. D. 30 minutes before sunset until 30 minutes before sunrise. The headlights must be turned on. A. 30 minutes after sunset until 30 minutes before sunrise. When it gets dark and visibility is reduced, your vehicle's headlights serve two purposes. To help you see the road ahead of you, and to help other drivers see you. When the sun sets, it still stays light for a while afterwards. And just before the sun rises, it starts to get light out as well. So, you'll need to turn the headlights on just a little after sunset until a little before sunrise. When choosing your driving speed, the most important thing to consider is A. The posted speed limit. B. How full the gas tank is. C. The vehicle's top speed. D. Weather, traffic, and road conditions. When choosing your driving speed, the most important thing to consider is D. Weather, traffic, and road conditions. Picking the right driving speed is an important skill to develop. And the correct answer is not always the posted speed limit. Whenever the weather is bad, the road surface is slippery, or there is heavy traffic, the safest speed you should be driving is actually lower than what is posted on the sign. To see vehicles in your blind spot, you should check A. In your side view mirrors. B. Over your shoulders. C. In your rear view mirror. D. In front of your vehicle. To see vehicles in your blind spot, you should check B. Over your shoulders. Your vehicle's blind spots are the areas around you that cannot be seen in your mirrors. In order to check your blind spot, you need to turn your head to look over your shoulders. It is important that you check your blind spots anytime you wish to change lanes, cross a bike lane, or pass. As you travel down the road, it's also a good idea to check your blind spots periodically as part of your constant scanning for hazards. The maximum legal speed limit on a rural interstate highway is A. 55 miles per hour. B. 65 miles per hour. C. 75 miles per hour. D. 90 miles per hour. The maximum legal speed limit on a rural interstate highway is C. 75 miles per hour. In most states, the maximum speed limit on a rural interstate highway is 75 miles per hour. The maximum speed limit indicates the fastest speed you can drive under ideal conditions. In poor weather, heavy traffic, or otherwise less than ideal conditions, the speed you should be driving is typically slower than the posted speed limit. If you are riding in a vehicle equipped with a lap belt and also a separate shoulder belt, you are A. Not required to use either one. B. Able to use whichever one you prefer. C. Required to only use the lap belt. D. Required to use both. If you are riding in a vehicle equipped with a lap belt and also a separate shoulder belt, you are D. Required to use both. If you are in a vehicle that has a seat belt system with a separate lap belt and shoulder belt, you are required to use both of them at the same time. Only using the lap belt or shoulder belt alone provide you with less protection in the event of a collision. Seat belts are designed to greatly reduce your risk of serious injury or death if you are involved in a crash. Great job! Here are some of your next steps to getting your learner's permit or driver's license. Read and study the official driver handbook from your state DMV. Take more free practice tests at puedomanejar.com. Gather all your necessary forms and documents before you visit the DMV office. Before you know it, you'll be driving in your very own car all by yourself. puedomanejar.com. Free DMV practice tests and much more to help you pass your real exams. Visit us today.